Thank you for joining me to learn how creating a culture of accessibility positively impacts business. This webinar is presented by Texas Workforce Solutions and the Texas Workforce Commission in collaboration with Seton Healthcare Family to promote the hireability of persons with disabilities in Texas. My name is Michael Ritter, and I am your host for this webinar. I am delivering a recorded presentation. You will not be able to ask me questions directly, but at the end, I will provide contact information. The Texas Workforce Commission, in partnership with Texas Workforce Solutions Boards and the Governor's Committee on People with Disabilities, launched the Texas Hireability Campaign to raise awareness about the benefits of hiring people with disabilities. Goals of this campaign include: connect Texas employers to job seekers through an online calendar of hiring events, connect Texas employers to resources on hiring and retaining employees with disabilities. Resources I mentioned include public service announcements, hiring event flyers, and a disability employment fact sheet. This webinar serves as a resource for explaining how creating a culture of accessibility positively impacts business. Let's get started. What types of employers hire individuals with disabilities? All types. Why? Because employees with disabilities are educated, highly trained, high performers, and tend to stay in their jobs longer. Today, I will provide a definition of the term disability, explain qualified employees, discuss creating a culture of accessibility, provide a definition of accessibility, accommodations, and assistive technologies, provide a case study about Seton Healthcare Family, and provide an overview of Texas Workforce Solutions vocational rehabilitation services. So what is a disability? An individual with a disability is defined by the Americans with Disabilities Act as a person who has a physical or mental impairment that substantially limits one or more major life activities, a person who has a history or record of such impairment, or a person who is perceived by others of having such impairment. A person may have a disability if he or she has a physical or mental condition that substantially limits a major life activity, such as walking, talking, seeing, hearing, or learning. When we talk about people with disabilities, who are we referring to? About 1.6 million working-age Texans have one or more disabilities. That means 1 in 10 people may have a disability. Employees with disabilities are qualified and capable. An individual with a disability is qualified for a job if he or she meets all knowledge, skills, abilities, experience, education, and other job requirements for the position. He or she can perform the essential functions of the job in question with or without reasonable accommodation. It's important for employers to value all employees for their abilities, even if they happen to have a disability, because all employees bring valuable education, training, skills, and experiences to jobs. Texas has a large, educated workforce which includes individuals with disabilities. In fact, according to the United States Census Bureau, more than 420,000 Texans with disabilities, aged 25 and up, have a bachelor's degree or higher, and 82,000 Texans with disabilities of working age, that's age 18 to 64, are actively seeking employment. Employing individuals with disabilities is cost-effective. Employee turnover is one of the largest costs in many organizations. As you may well know, turnover costs employers 12.5% of an employee's annual salary. And research indicates that 33% of hiring managers and executives reported that employees with disabilities stay in their jobs longer. So, when you consider the costs related to retention, employing people with disabilities who tend to stay in their jobs longer can positively impact the bottom line. So how can employers best leverage this large, educated, loyal workforce to positively impact business? Employers should create a culture of accessibility. This means implement best practices to attract, hire, and retain people with disabilities by doing the following: inclusive recruitment process, accessible application process, effective screening and interviewing, flexible onboarding and retention practices and procedures, understand accessibility, accommodation, and assistive technologies. Involve everyone in the process, from management to human resources to information technology. What is accessibility? Accessibility refers to the design of products, devices, services, or environments for people with disabilities. Accessibility means that buildings, environments, and products are inherently accessible to everyone. Put simply, it means giving access to all people in a community or workplace. A reasonable accommodation is a change in the work environment that enables a qualified applicant with a disability to enjoy equal employment opportunities. Changes in the job application process, changes to perform the essential functions of the job, and changes to provide equal access to benefits. Accommodations can include assistive technology, a cornerstone for creating a culture of inclusion and accessibility. So what is assistive technology? Assistive technologies are utilized to help a worker perform the job independently. There are more than 18,000 technologies available to help people with disabilities be more independent. These range from those that help everyone, like an ergonomic mouse, to those specialized for individuals, like a Braille keyboard. Assistive technology helps people with disabilities apply for jobs equally in the workplace, work independently, and compete equally in the workplace. A few examples include ergonomic keyboards, speech synthesis, Braille displays, screen magnification software, and speech-to-text software. Now that I've provided this overview, let me present a case study on how one Texas employer has successfully created a culture of accessibility and the infrastructure to measure positive business impact. Let me introduce you to Project Search at Seton Healthcare Family. At Seton Healthcare Family, the Office of Diversity Strategy is to move the organization from recognizing diversity to institutionalizing inclusion and cultural competence, ensure the workforce reflects the community served, emphasize innovation and disruption around workforce development, challenge unconscious biases in the workplace. Seton Healthcare Family believes the best business practices include reflecting the community they serve in the workforce, creating a platform for their patient base, which includes young people with disabilities, to build vocational skills which lead to competitive, integrated employment. Seton found a best practice in Project Search. Project Search was developed in 1996 at Cincinnati Children's Hospital Medical Center to train young people with disabilities in high-turnover, entry-level positions hospital-wide. The model is an innovative collaboration between businesses and community organizations which builds transferable skills, making young people competitive in the labor market. This changes the culture of the business community when executives witness firsthand the skills and learning potential of individuals with disabilities. High employment outcome. From 2007 to 2015, Project Search at Seton Healthcare Family has graduated 118 interns. Of those graduates, 48 have been hired by Seton. An additional 57 found competitive employment in the community. This translates to an employment outcome of 89%. From 2007 to 2015, the hospital units and departments who have hosted a Project Search intern have experienced a collective return on investment of total internship, 188,800 hours, value of that internship, $2,265,600. Productive time, 169,920 hours. Value of productive time, $2,039,040. Getting started. This Seton Healthcare Family case study demonstrates the value of creating a culture of accessibility. How was Seton able to accomplish this? With the support of staff from a Texas school district, as well as with the support of staff funded by TWS-VRS. Let me provide an overview of TWS-VRS and explain how we help employers make this cultural transition. First, Texas Workforce Solutions includes the Texas Workforce Commission, 28 local workforce development boards, and our service-providing partners. TWS-VRS assists Texas employers with hiring and retaining employees with disabilities, and we help employees prepare for, obtain, and advance in employment, which ultimately leads to a more prepared and qualified workforce for Texas employers. Let's discuss these services in more detail. TWS-VRS Business Relations assists businesses by providing awareness, education, and recruitment and retention services, and these services are free. So we provide free assistance with tasks like job task analysis, business facility design, the application process, recruitment, training, and services and workplace accommodations which support retention. Hiring and retaining people with disabilities positions businesses to qualify for federal contracts and tax credits. We can also provide guidance for employers to determine their eligibility. It's also important for employers to understand the services we provide job seekers. Through career assessments, counseling, and guidance, we help each Texan determine what career is right for them based on their skills, abilities, interests, and disability. This is done through job matching and placement services, counseling and guidance, career assessments, training, Business Enterprises of Texas, and the Chris Cole Rehabilitation Center. Additionally, TWS-VRS saves employers time and money by providing qualified applicants. Before an applicant arrives for a job interview, a business can be assured that they have had an assessment of assistive technology needs, been educated in behaviors that are expected by employers in a work environment, have a proper college technical and/or on-the-job training. So let us help your business. If you are interested in learning more about the hireability of Texans with disabilities, how to transform your business culture, and how to recruit and retain this important segment of the Texas workforce, please contact the Texas Workforce Solutions Vocational Rehabilitation Services Business Relations Team through vrbusinessrelations@twc.state.tx.us. You can learn more by visiting texasworkforce.org/VR Business Relations. Thank you.